We're currently standing here at Flamingo Park, and you simply cannot believe the feverish preparation that is going on here, whether it's the Teletrack team who've come down here to set up the cables and make sure that all the links are working. The guys are painting the roof, the tractors are on the track harrowing and putting water down, and of course all the trainers are putting the finishing touches to their day in the sun, where the RA mile takes pride of place. There's also a staying race over 2,200 meters, and there's also a sprint over 1,000 meters. It's a fascinating day's racing, and we're going to have a chance to speak to all of Cliffie Miller, Stephanie Miller, Cyril von Willigsmith, who is the defending champion with a horse called Stone Pine, who you'll see on the front of this week's computer form, and finally Tini Prinsloo, who's also got some live charges. Unfortunately, we weren't able to speak to everybody concerned, but we did manage to get a chat with Louis Goosen and the De Kock yard, who send down Toro Rosso for the RA mile. So it's their time to shine here at Flamingo Park for the RA Flamingo mile, the 135,000 rand World Sports Betting Sprint, and the RA Diamond Stayers worth 100,000, 135,000 and 200,000 rand respectively. Now this is the track that Michael De Kock said is one of the best sand tracks anywhere in the world. It's very, very natural. It comes from the surrounding area over here. And of course the biggest problem would be to ship the sand to the Vaal, because this would have been exactly what the Vaal needed. But it takes a lot of water and it takes a lot of preparation, a lot of loving care, and Jaap Visser is the track manager now, looking after Kimberley and making sure that the horses have got the safest, firmest, best surface on which to race. Tini, thanks very much for your time. It was a rather successful trip to Kimberley last time. You gave us a good few winners, so let's hope the same applies. Starting off in the first race with horse number 11, Midgox Doll, drawn 16, which is fine down the straight, and the other one is drawn 17, that's Monte Carlo Player.
Yes, Andrew, yeah, they, Midgox Doll, I think she will still need it and she needs further. But come back to Monte Carlo Player, we had her over the 14 and the 12, and the jocks agree with me, so we must bring her back to 1,000. She got the speed, and I think she should be a runner in that race, yeah.
Yeah, she's a nice filly, Andrew. I wouldn't say that she's a top filly. She's not going to Hollywood. And you have a lot of sprinting fillies in a string, and you've got to find races for them. In her last run, I think she needed it. I think the 14 was too far before that. And I think she'll be cherry ripe, and I think she'll be right there. I'm not making her a good thing, but I think she can just about win it.
Yeah, the first time she ran, she was very green, and I think a lot of the filly, I think she'll go further. But she works with 2-3-time winners in the work, so I expect her to run a decent race.
Steph, thank you very much for your time. Great to have a chat to you guys here in the Kimberley district. Starting off in race 2 with horse number 10 with regular pilot Gunther Roggeman aboard, Milky White.
Milky White, when I got him, he was he was very thin. He's actually grown a lot. He's shown me a lot of pace, but he needs 1,400, 1,600. But if things go his way, he can run a place in that race.
I think they should come in and halfway in the gates and so on. And I really think high maintenance is going to be a big runner. He's working well. Till I'm a bit concerned, it's a bit short for him, yeah.
I think SHOSHONE is the one there. I like him. He had a very good first run here. Just faded the last little bit in the end, the last 200 and stuff. But I think a 1,200 will suit him much more. I think that will be his distance, and I think he'll run a very good race. Sweet Turn. I'm running him because with blinkers he improved last time out, and I think it will help him the 1,200 with the blinkers. So I think he's in with a shot as well. I would love the 1,400, but I think he's in with a shot.
So the blinkers will obviously make him sharper, and he'll have to commit with that draw.
Yeah, because I'm running him a bit fresh as well this time.
He's also with a lovely action. We actually bought him from the ready to run, and he's also shows a bit more at home than he showed in his first couple of runs. He's run, and so therefore we thought we'll nominate for Kimberley. We cracked a nice draw, and we thought we'd take him to the sand, and hopefully he brings a run. He gives us a run, same type of work that he shows at home.
We move on to race 3, where you've got horse number 3, Pegged for Glory, a deep draw to overcome.
He definitely changed the last 2-3 weeks. His work improved, but again the draw. His best runs when he had a good draw, he ran a second, he won over a draw. But I had to run him, he's working just too well to just leave him out of the race.
That's correct. Howling Tom
We fancied him for the Kimberley nurseries when we got rained out a week or so ago. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they're going to reschedule that race, so we got to take our chances in the handicaps now. And with being a daring bid, they seem to do well on the sand, and he's won nicely at Kimberley, so hoping we can pull it off with him.
Yeah, she's a lovely filly. I think she'll be in the first three, definitely. She's a good filly, got a hell of a lot of toe, and she gets out the pens very quickly, and she's a nice filly, got a good weight as well.
Possibility of a banker for the PA?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, Andrew, last time I made a mistake to putting a tongue tie onto him, and we're taking it off this time, and I really think he's going to be a runner in that race, yeah.
Yeah, if he can overcome the draw, he's been running some very good races for me lately, and yeah, he should be in the places too, if he can overcome the draw.
Yeah, I consider ran third first time out for us on the sand. Bit sluggish out the pens. He was a bit slow on the day. He ran on very strongly, so hopefully he gets out the pens on terms, and then I think he'll run a good race.
I think she's a very strong contender in that race. She loves the 1800. She improved her last two runs, and I think she's a very good runner in that race. She's got a big chance.
Do you think we could sort of take a chance and bank her in the place accumulator, maybe one or two more in the pick six?
I think you can just add another horse with her.
Yeah, Andrew, if he brings his work to the races and so on, I think he will be there, yeah.
And what about TZITZIKAMA FIRE, drawn 4?
Yeah, Andrew, last time out, the previous time, he ran in a Merit 66 race, and he showed me how he can run with the bigger horses. So I even give him a chance, yeah.
Yeah, Rocket Fall, if he can produce the same runs as his last two, yes, he should be in a firing line.
When you say the firing line, do you think that he's worth putting into all exotics?
Well, he should be in, if he doesn't win, he should be in a places, to put it that way. He should run a place.
Now we move on to the first leg of the jackpot, which is race number 5. And you've got the two runners, number 6, BODEGA. And of course, you've got a little bit further down on the page, you've got number 7, DRAGONSTONE with Matthee Thackeray.
DRAGONSTONE is a horse that loves the 2-2-2-4. He's under sufferance, but I think he'll give them a go. He ran a second the other day over 2-2. He's a contender, and also BODEGA. If she gets a break, I think she'll run a great race.
She won over 1800 with the fillies and mares by about 5 or 6 lengths. Nice front running type. She's out in the weights. Nice strong field as well. I've got to give her a run, and hopefully she does well for me, because I think if she gets to the front, you've got the lightweight, she'll make them carry the weight.
Yeah, Andrew, LEBEOANA, he carries a big weight and so on, but he's a super horse, and I really like him. And then, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to scratch Quetrachi Overreach himself, yeah, and I don't think I will have time to fix him up for this race, yeah.
Fair enough, but it does look like the Gary Alexander stable pose the biggest threat to you there with Commodore L and Oriental Blue.
That's it, yeah. That's the biggest danger in this race, yeah.
Steph, moving on to race 6, you've got the two runners in DOCTOROW and Kent Rock.
First of all, DOCTOROW is a very big contender in that race. He works extremely well. And I don't think it's a very strong field. I think I'll be there. I'll be within the first 3.
Quite an unusual state of affairs that two horses are going in the same float that both ran behind the same horse last time out in graduation day. One running over a mile, the one over 1,000 meters. You must be fairly confident that Toro Rosso has got the class and the ability to get the mile against some hard-knocking Kimberley horses.
Yes, Andrew, obviously Mr. de Kock has had a plan all along, for the past few months. We sort of aimed him at this type of race. His horse has been tried in the sand, tested and done well in the past. So pretty happy with his preparation thus far. Obviously there's a day to go before the race, and if he travels well, I'm pretty confident he'll give a good count of himself.
He has one on the Val sand, which is totally different to Kimberley. That is a slight concern. But in saying that, he's a very good sand horse at home, and we've got a track here that's pretty similar type of sand to Kimberley, and I think he's versatile. He You know, he's a game little horse and he tries his heart out. If things go right for him in the race, we're expecting him to run a very good race. I've hired a float to pick him up between 3:30 and 4 on Saturday morning. If it takes 6 hours, he'll be there by like 10 o'clock in the morning. The local travelling, when he travels from Randkies to Vaal or to Turfentine, is very quiet. So he's a horse full of spirit, but he's a smart horse, as I said earlier, and hopefully he does travel well. I think he will. He'll have a meal in the float while he's travelling, and he's the type of horse he'll nibble away at something. And just hope all goes well. You know, it's to travel to Kimberley. As I said to you, it's quite an expensive exercise. I thought there'd be a float put on because Joburg's supporting that meeting quite well.
Not a great draw, but I think he'll enjoy that because he doesn't like to be amongst the horses all that much. He's run 3 times in his race. He's never been back further than 4th, I think. 2nd, 3rd and 4th. So hopefully this year he can crack it. Nice old boy this.
Now, if you take King of Mountain out of the equation, looking objectively at the field with the visitors and the local boys, what's your gut feel tell you about this race?
I think Mike has got a horse in there that's got it's a fair horse, it's a good horse, I think, on sand as well. I think that, you know, Mike de Kock, you've always got to be scared of him. He's a good trainer, he knows what he's doing, and I think he must be the horse to beat. The other horse that won very impressively in Kimberley last time out after a long layover was Stone Pine from Cyril Smith. He won a very, very good race, and I think if he comes to the 4, he'll give him a run as well.
Well, you know, when he won the last race, the big race last year, I said to Paul Barrett, look, he's a 7-year-old, let's retire him. But funny enough, nobody applied to say we're interested in him and that. So I thought, you know, I can't put him down. I'll look after him. So I looked after him for 10 months. I fed him every day. He played in the paddock. And a couple of months now, we brought him back. He had his first run. He ran about 23 lengths behind, I think. And his second run out, he won quite nicely. If he can produce the same run like he won his last run, yes, he could be a contender.
Andrew, you know what, he came down here and he had 3 bad runs and so on. In his last start, he ran 3rd, and he showed me a lot of ability and so on. And I just think on the day, if the 1600 is the right distance for him, he should be a runner in that race. But you know, that's a competitive field, that. And but he's looking very well and he's working well, yeah.
On to the sprint, race number 7, you're represented by Speed Lightning.
I think that's the most difficult race on the card. We took Speed Lightning to Turfentine the other day. He was bumped at the start. He ran 4.5 lengths behind, which is not too bad. And I'll also give him a chance in that race.
Moving on to race 7 with Speedy Susie having won on Thursday. One presumes that she would be scratched, but that'll probably leave you with number 11, Hampstead Herald.
That's correct, Andrew. Speedy Susie is scratched. She won yesterday. Very nice. Hampstead Herald, that'll probably be our flagship runner for the day, although it is in very strong company. She's a very fast filly, needs to prove herself in this company, but I expect that she'll be right there.
Yes, indeed. I think that's probably the main reason why we decided to go this way with him. He's a horse that won over 1400 first time out, and then after that just showed us the more of a sprinting type. Going to the race, there's healthy respect for both Mr. Goosen's runners, one obviously having to shoulder top weight, us also having to shoulder the 62 kilos. Being over 1,000 meters, I don't think it's as effective as what it would be when you're going on a 1,400 mile up. So that's not a major concern, but it is a factor that you will take into consideration. I think with the Kimberley trainers' horses, not many of them have been tested with the Joburg horses form line, besides You Beauty of Mr. Prinsloo's, which did well up here. I think he won at the Vaal. So I think he's a horse we also have to respect. There's also Mr. Binders with a lightweight. So it's obviously not a foregone conclusion. I think it'll be a competitive race, but Ishvan, he does really act on the sand, and we think he'll be a competitive runner. If he wasn't going to be competitive, we would never have gone down for the trip.
Fair to say that Louis Goosen, Michael Azzi look like they have the strength in that race, of the visiting trainers.
Yeah, I'm glad Louis coming down because, Kimberley trainers are desperados. I'm glad to see he's also a desperado, but good luck to them.
Yeah, firstly, you don't often get Andrew Fortune to use lead bags. That's a lot of weight for a little horse like Vibration. But he did win the race last year, and thankfully Corne Spies isn't there like he was last year, nearly beat me. But Yeah, it's a big ask, but he does like the course and distance, and he is. All I can tell you, his vibration is very, very well within himself.
Vincente?
Vincente, he's a dark horse, you know. Ken Tutor sent the horse up, and as I said, you know, in fantastic condition from Vaughan Marshall, and my job is to try and get the black type. He is a full brother, and he's an entire, as a full brother to Valderrama. And my job is to get the black type. You're probably looking at something in November, like the Golden Loom, that type of thing. But, you know, we got to get black type. And in the meantime, I just don't believe he likes the quick 1,000 meters at the Pinnacle Plate next week, where I'm running tripties and doing it for Dan. I just don't think that's his type of race. So I spoke to Ken about it and said, let's try him on the sand. So we don't know how he's going to act on the surface, but I can tell you he's very, very well within himself.
Andrew, she's very close to my heart, this filly. You know what? We took her up to Joburg. She won a very good race there. She came back, she had a break, she ran fourth. Her last gallop work was fantastic and so on. So I'm hoping for a big, big run, yeah.
Overachiever's running over the 14. Works extremely well, but the 14 might be a bit short for her. She ran second over the 14 the other day, and I don't believe she can beat the other 3 fillies in that race.
Okay, well, let's move on to the other 3 fillies. First of all, Heartflower, who is the mount of Matthee Thackeray, drawn at 11.
Yeah, you know, Heartflower, is just a pleasure to see Matthee on that horse, because every time he rides her, she's there or she wins for him. And I think she's one of my 2 best runners in that race.
Okay, now we're getting deeper into the picture over here. Let's take a look at horse number 9, who is toll-free with Gunther Roggeman.
It's her first run on the sand. I must say she works with Heartflower, but you know, she's been off for a while, and I think she'll need the run.
And then finally, let's maybe save the best for last, number 3, Razzle My Tazzle.
I think she's the best filly in the race, and I believe she'll win the race.
ARTIC ROUTE didn't run a very good race first time out on the sand, but like all horses, they need it on the sand first time out. Andy, what can I say? He makes them run. So hopefully Andy can get the best out of her. Villa ran a very good race first time out here, 3rd as well. And I give her a very good chance. The filly of mine, Grosny, has turned the corner. She's won 2 in the trot now. Both over a mile. So I do think the 14 should be okay with the 14 as well. I think of the 3 horses, I think Grosny could be the best one of the 3.
Andrew, you know, she's working very well. Distance-wise, just a touch out of her ground. She prefers the 1200, but I think with the weight and Callan knows her and so on, I make her a runner, yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, Andrew, you know what, she's a decent filly. She always brings her work to the races. She's always in the placings, and yeah, she got the gate speed. I think between her and Lady Casey, they will go to the front, and hopefully they don't stop and they can just finish the race off like that, yeah.
Triple A is a very laid-back horse, lazy as can be. When he's in a race, yeah, he can run. Sometimes he can run good races, and we hope for a place for him. If he can do it, I'll be quite happy.
What about his stable companion, who is Blue Eyed Boy, who's drawn 6?
Blue Eyed Boy is a very good horse. I haven't got a horse in the stables that can work with that horse. But unfortunately, he's got his own mind, his own habits. If he wants to run, he can run. But his mind doesn't come together all the time. So, yeah, if he can run a place, I'll also be happy.
Yes, Andrew, you know what, Los Ninos, he's a very nice horse. He doesn't bring his homework to the track and so on. So I really hope he brings a better race to the track. And then also Capstan Van Cloo. I think it's his 3rd run for me now. He's well. He looks very well. He works well. And then, of course, he's solid as a rock. That's the horse I've been telling the guys. This horse ran behind the horse Black Arthur, who ran in the July. We gelded him. He came straight back. He ran 4th. He won his next start. He's looking absolutely very, very well. So I give him a huge chance, yeah.
Lovely. And then you end the day off over 1,400 meters with horse number 2, drawn 14, Francie Herald aboard Autumn Encore.
Yeah, Autumn is a nice horse, you know, so he's just turned 4, obviously, now. He won the 3-year-old Classic in Kimberley, beating a nice field as well, and if he puts his mind to it, he can win that race.